One guy did something so crazy, he immediately became hated by his former fans. And another guy did something so insane, it made him public enemy number 1 in an entire continent. These are the 10 most hated footballers in the game. And first off, it's the OG of red cards. Unless you're a Real Madrid fan, chances are you don't like this guy that much. The man needs no introduction. This guy is one of the best defenders of his generation, and in fact, not just one of the best defenders, but one of the best footballers generally. He is one of those defenders that attackers just don't want to play against. Just take a look at this. And this guy can keep going for the full 90 minutes, and that is where the problem lies. This guy is only loved by Real Madrid fans, and maybe PSG and Sevilla fans because he played there also. But other football fans around the world, they have nothing but hate for him. And just when we thought Sergio Ramos had gotten to the limit and couldn't possibly do any other thing to worsen the situation, he did this to Mohamed Salah. Yeah, that was the 2018 UEFA Champions League finals. Salah was Liverpool's main man, but had to be subbed off because of what Ramos did to him. Liverpool ended up losing the match and Real Madrid went on to win their 13th Champions League. But that's not all. The 2018 World Cup took place less than a month from the Champions League final. Salah was Egypt's main man, and because of what Ramos did to him, he had to miss Egypt's first match of the tournament. So yeah, you can only imagine how much love Egypt fans have for Ramos. I don't see Ramos going to Egypt anytime soon. But Ramos isn't the only player hated by a country. Luis Suarez has also managed to piss off a country. In fact, not just a country, but the entire continent of Africa. So, get this. Ghana and Uruguay clashed in the quarter-finals of the 2010 World Cup. Ghana were on its way to making history. They were about to be the first African team to get to the World Cup semi-final. And this time, it wasn't just about the Ghanaian players or the Ghanaian fans, but the whole of Africa. I mean, Ghana had the whole of Africa behind them. The game started pretty well for Ghana. They scored the first goal of the match right before the first half was over. Uruguay got their equalizer 10 minutes into the second half, but that didn't kill Ghana's morale. They had their eyes on the prize, and they kept on pushing. The game went into extra time, and in the 120th minute, the game took a shocking turn. Ghana won themselves a free kick. The ball was crossed beautifully into the box. Next, Ghanaian defender John Painstill headed the ball perfectly. The ball clearly beat the goalie, and for a second there, it looked like Ghana had secured their spot in the semis. But out of nowhere, Luis Suarez did this. Yes, Luis Suarez was given a red card and Ghana was awarded a penalty, but they lost the penalty. They lost their morale and couldn't even save themselves in the penalty shootout. Ghana crashed out of the World Cup, and the fans had one man to blame: Luis Suarez. He cost them that semi-final spot. Right now, this guy is a wanted man in Ghana. But he isn't just hated in Ghana or Africa. He has a habit that makes this hate a global thing. He is known for biting opponents. He has gotten banned for doing this twice. And speaking of bans, the next player on the list made major headlines because of it: Mason Greenwood. At first, it looked like this youngster had it all figured out. He was young, good-looking, very skilled, well-loved and respected, was already playing for one of the biggest teams in the world, and even had Cristiano Ronaldo as a teammate. He was literally living the dream. Until something terrible happened. In January 2022, he got arrested for assaulting his partner. And it wasn't just an assault on a random stranger, but his girlfriend. Well, ex-girlfriend now. Anyway, we already know how serious matters like this are. Assault, ending a person's life, is probably the only crime worse than this. Immediately, the news came out. Manchester United banned him from training and playing with them. He lost his Nike sponsorship deal, and fortunately for him, bail saved him from serving time behind bars. Bro legit became the #1 world enemy. But after a while, a long one actually, the whole case got dropped. And in a statement, he said this: "I am relieved that this matter is now over, and I would like to thank my family, loved ones, and friends." He joined Getafe after the whole case was dropped, and now wears the number 10 for Olympique de Marseille. At least Mason cared about the hate and rewriting his story. But there's also this guy that genuinely does not care about what the world thinks of him: Emmanuel Adebayor. This guy does whatever, says whatever, and goes wherever he wants. This guy first made a name for himself in Arsenal. He was kinda like a club hero there. Arsenal fans loved him, but they got the shock of their lives when he left them to join Manchester City. Arsenal fans felt betrayed. It felt like Adebayor left them for money. But as if the shock they got from the transfer wasn't enough, Adebayor found another way to hurt them. A few weeks after he joined City, both teams clashed. Adebayor scored against his normal team and celebrated like he just scored a winner in the World Cup final. Come on, man, show a little respect. And that's not all. Adebayor still left City and joined another Arsenal rival, Spurs. Now he has hurt not just Arsenal but City also. And he didn't even end there. He still joined another English side, Crystal Palace. And it didn't even take long before he got on Crystal Palace's nerves. During his first press conference after joining the new team, he said that he had no idea who they were and had to Google them. You see, he does whatever, says whatever, and goes wherever. Just like Sol Campbell. Same with Adebayor, this guy also got himself in an Arsenal and Spurs drama. Just that this time it was the other way around. You see, Sol Campbell started his career in Tottenham. He rose from the club's academy and joined the main team. He even captained the main team. He was all Tottenham, a club icon, until 2001, when he shocked the whole world and joined Tottenham's arch-rival, Arsenal. After, he said this: Arsenal fans felt betrayed and made sure to give Campbell a piece of their mind. And they didn't just give him once, it was a continuous thing. They called him Judas anytime he played against them. But Campbell and Adebayor aren't the only players who gathered hate from fans because of transfers. Neymar Jr. also did. Neymar joined Barca in 2013 and immediately became a club sweetheart. Everyone thought he'd give his all to the team and be the next Messi. But Neymar had other plans. Yeah, he did spend enough time in Barca, but when PSG bought a crazy offer in 2017, Neymar switched camps. Now that I think of it, that's just 4 years. That really isn't a long time. Anyway, Neymar joined PSG for a transfer worth $222 million, making him the most expensive transfer in football's history. You already know how it goes. Barca fans felt cheated, and Neymar, who was already a controversial footballer, just added to the pile of hate he already had. But things got crazier after he joined PSG. He started dealing with injuries upon injuries. It was like the club was not getting value from the money they splashed on his transfer. And to make matters worse, Neymar made it obvious that he wanted to return to Spain. PSG fans completely lost it. Neymar legit became the most hated player in PSG and was constantly booed by PSG fans. Imagine getting constantly booed by your own fans. But sometimes the hate isn't just all because of transfers or any type of outside drama. Sometimes it's about how the player is on the pitch. Take Diego Costa, for example. This guy is one of the most hated footballers in the world, and that has nothing to do with his transfers. Diego Costa is just really annoying to play against, and not because he's a threat to the opposition, but just because he is straight up annoying. This guy is always diving around the pitch, trying to look for cheap fouls, and that's not all. He's always trying to get under his opponent's skin and head. Kinda like he focuses more on trying to piss you off than actually scoring. He has zero sportsmanship. Even his former teammate, Kurt Zouma, once said that Diego loves cheating a lot. But there's a particular guy that when it comes to hatred, no one comes close to. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And it isn't just about the amount of hate around him, it's about why he is hated and his response to it. This guy is probably the most arrogant footballer in history. Hell, he is the most arrogant footballer in history. No one is better than Zlatan, and no one tells Zlatan what to do. He once said that he wanted to show CR7 that he is 3 times better than him. I don't think any footballer can publicly say that or even think that. But Zlatan is Zlatan. And the crazy thing is, Zlatan is one that can talk trash about you and still beat you up on the pitch if he sees you. Yeah, he is just that guy. He is a black belt. You don't want to pick fights with him. Even his teammates are not safe. And if you don't want to get hated like any of the players we talked about in this video, you should smash that subscribe button right now to Free Kick Corner. And while you're at it, head to comments and type in any player you think should have made this list but didn't.